Good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show with SMARTRobie. That's right. Now this morning, SMARTRobie, we're going to show you a couple of new topic. That's right. Of course, the main topic is market reversal. Now, many of you may have known, I've started on a podcast where we are likely to see market reversal. As we've seen, even last Friday, the US Dow Jones did close pretty well. As I said before, some of those are tall tail sign, which I will share with you this morning, looking in our KLCI market, whether we get those or not. Let's go on to what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show. And thank you for sharing this video in your timeline. We really appreciate for those of you who has been giving us a great support in here. And check out SMARTRobie, you can download it. Of course, this morning, let's take a look at what we have, the KLCI. If I look at the chart that we have seen so far, the market is up slightly, pretty much no change from where we are. No, it's down actually, minus 0.22. Early on was up about 3 points. We got the active movers, which is all the penny shares. Great gainers are generally all the tech stocks, right? And we got some decliner in here, being a mixed bag of some of these stocks in here. So that probably tell you where is the market is sort of moving sideways, directionless. And of course, if you have any comments or questions that you want to do ask, just pencil those in there, and I'm happy to answer them on also your stocks review that you want me to look at. Now, of course, this morning we want to talk about market reversal in play. Now, the market reversal in play, generally we are looking at the market sentimental or investor confidence in here. Now, there isn't much in on the side of the Malaysia in here. I do think that many of the sentimentals are generally Malaysian market are generally still weak. They probably take a cue from the US market, but US, there has been a change depending who you listen in. Of course, I am always on the bullish side of the US, and right now I think the recession news has been coming out has been overly played, and that's why we are seeing maybe this is overdone. And of course, last Friday, check out the video tutorial that the live FB that I did, and I did talk about the reversal that we've seen due to the market stages in here. The market patterns is important, so we are looking for a downward market in the stage 4 turning to a stage 1, and also looking at the market stages, which is in our Trade VSA plugin. The indicator is yet to turn to above the zero line in here. Now, of course, all this is going to be depending on buying on the green Pentagon and probably selling it, since we are still in the shorter time frame because of the market bearishness. We have not moved up yet. We will take profit up very, very soon in here. Market is undergoing through volatility, as we were saying before in here. One day could up in, but the wicks, which measure the fear index on the US side, are showing below 30. And usually when you show below 30, the market gradually improve in here. We will be looking at the Robie FA collection list. If not, you can check out on let me just switch on to a wider chart here. And you can see right in the middle, Robie FA list. Click on that one. That tells you some of the KLCI. Yes, Gamunda is on the first of that list, 342, which is up slightly on the fundamental stocks. We will pick up and learn some of those in here. But do check out the Gamunda, which is the intraday list, which is up almost 0.6% this morning in here. Perhaps let's take a look. 5398, and looking at the stock chart and stock comment. Where are we on this? As you can see, it actually turned red Pentagon immediately after the green Pentagon. And this probably tells you that this market is more likely to move sideways than upwards. Not ready yet, so we have to be very patient in here. Alright, so the Pentagon Guider, so those of you who are new, this is a system that we can follow the smart money and able to determine whether the stocks is ready to move higher or not. And of course, you are looking in here, one of the creator in here, and looking to make it better for all of our users that using in here. And of course, the only single trade that we have on our Pentagon Guider trading portfolio is LHI, which is still running, right, with a more of an unchanged. We have been having this trade in here. Let's take a look where we first had our LPI here, and LHI Leong Hub, okay, which is a poultry. It did hit an uptrust, and usually when you get this kind of uptrust, it is distribution to the top side, and that's why we are seeing weakness. Leong Hub International, this was what we talk about here. You can see this long tails is a sign of weakness, hit up the O and then right back in here because there was a reversal of the chicken prices. First there was no ceiling, then they said there was a ceiling, and that's what you get in this market, right? So news, definitely a lot of opportunities, but people did take quick profit in here and jump out the day. So again, when you see high climatic volume like that, usually on uptrust, that's a sign of course, when we do our Pentagon trading portfolio, this is what we call follow the rule, a very mechanical trade. We follow the rule, we will run it for 2 months, and if it doesn't hit the ATR stop loss, who knows, in the coming weeks it might just go up higher. We don't know, right? That's how we trade the Pentagon Guider portfolio trade here. Okay, on the chart wise, you can see we've been beating the KLCI, the benchmark here, which continue to go lower. We are staying above in here. All right, and looking at the KLCI, let's switch over to a wider chart. Right, you can see the KLCI breaking the ATR stop loss. That was where, this is sort of like the alarm bell. And I think many of the reader who is listening now will already know that's one of the first fundamental rule. If the market were to break through that ATR stop loss, it's time to chop out. And if you have done that, I think a lot of your stocks would have done well. You would at least save 10% on that and probably use that when the market turn back up. Am I correct? If what I'm saying is correct, do pencil those in there. Give me a thumbs up in here for the good work that we're sharing with the public in here using SMARTRobie here. All right, thank you for that. Okay, now so what we are looking at is the green pentagon. We haven't seen the green pentagon here yet, so we are still waiting for this thing to turn back up. So right now there's no green pentagon. We have to be kind of patient with that one here, right? And of course, we can also trade the intraday, which is what I talked about last Friday, the intraday trading. There are opportunities available in there for the shorter time frames, and that's where you want to. But on the overall KLCI, you could see here, this is the trade VSA with the market stages, right? You see at the bottom here, and that's what we talk about, market stages and its indicator. Where is it now? So of course, the KLCI, looking from the FKLI futures, it is still pretty much in a downtrend, started to make sideways like what we did here again, right? What we want to see is a double bottom, right? Now we have not seen any double bottom yet. This is just the first leg. We need to see another leg here, and of course waiting the green pentagon in here. So what are things we're looking at for market reversal right in play? First thing first, we need to see a movement of a sideways market. Have you seen it yet? Definitely not in here. Next, we want to see the bar turning upwards here. This is where we are looking at. It hasn't turned up yet, so which is still missing, still pretty much on the negative territory. We have to be very patient for that one. So we need to see the market stages move above the zero indicator. So that's a 1. 2, green pentagon. Do you see any green pentagon? Definitely not. We have a couple of signs of strength. We have NS, and we also have I believe this is a test, which is actually a really good thing. So that tells you the downtrend has probably stops, and that's what we are talking about, whether the bottoming pattern will be a W or a V recovery. Usually a V recovery is what we've seen previously in here, like a V and then drop back off. A much better off, and I believe this round we will be getting a double bottom, which is a W in here. And once you have that W, there will be lots of retest to the low, which is around the 1420. The current support is still at 1400. So this many times of retesting to the downside would probably tell you that the downside has sort of diminishes, and we're going to get an upside movement in here. That's usually how the market will generally works when we have that pullback up to the strong side, and that's what we are looking for the KLCI. The only thing that is remain to be positive for me is the general election 15 right now. Most of the news and economic news are pointing to sort of very somber mood, nothing too specific in here. So we're just waiting for the foreign funds. Of course, you can check the foreign funds coming in by going to the Trade VSA website here. Let me just show you on the 360. Right, the foreign funds. You can always go back to the main menu here, hitting the KLCI, and I believe the foreign funds are in the hot sector. No, we'll just go on to VSA 360, or yes, it's in our website here. So let me just show you this one to our web page, and you can see it for the 360 here, and scroll right at the bottom. You can see foreign funds is still diminishing in here. Very pessimistic. We have seen a lot of flows. Of course, the VSA 360 give you a bigger time frame in here. You can see much better. And right now, those green Pentagon is only one news. We got green packets up, Rich, DNX. These are all your penny shares. Seems to be holding up its level in here. All right, pretty good today. Lots of green, but KLCI is still facing the resistance at 1400 level here. All right, and going forward, okay, let's look at the next Robie FA alert that we have. Now remember, if we are beginner and we assume you're beginner, you want to stick on to those stocks that have strong fundamental, and definitely you want to be looking at the Robie trade FA list. FA stand for Fundamental Analysis Collection, which have very strong dividend yield. You can see Lotte giving up with a special dividend about 20%. These were the last two episodes that we look at, 176, 177, which is on the 13th and 20th of May episode in here. All right, we have Perak Transit with a dividend yield of 4.5%, which is very good, and a PE of 9.4 times. Now KLCI right now is doing about maybe somewhere between 13 and 14 times PE. So right now 9 times PE is pretty reasonable. Then we also have Westport, slightly on who have a very high ROE, so paying a 5% dividend. And all this you can check it out from our SMARTRobie in here. Okay, switching to a wider chart, you can type in Westport, WPRTS, hit that one, and you can get on to the stock fundamentals. So you can see from here, the stock fundamental is giving it a P of 16 times with a dividend yield of 5%. So that's not too bad, huh? If you are looking into the slightly longer term in here, this will be some of the stocks you want to look at. At least it does have some sort of support on the back of the market reversal that we've seen. If we do see it, then many of these stocks will generally hold up its level here. Of course, let's look at the episode 156 last week when we talk about this. We have the railway track, which is still moving up in a nice, you can see here, this two railway track, right, the moving average still up, didn't hit the ATR stop loss, just touch it, rebound back, and you can see with the good fundamentals, right, at PE of 9 times and the dividend yield of 5%. I'm sure a lot of people are holding and buying this stock, but the only downside, the market did turn red Pentagon early on with a double top, now retesting back the old high. You can see here, the only downside I see here is the diminishing volume as the market try to move up. So this is something you need to be very careful in. Breakout on higher grounds with not so heavy volume usually could be a false breakout. Of course, if it does break out, we want those volume to come in, which is much better. You can see the last breakout that we have, a big one here, that was truly a reversal, right? A lot of people took profit and the market started to move sideways. On the another stocks that we talked about previously was the Westport. Okay, we talked about Westport too. Lotte Chemical broke through the ATR stop loss, so that's the one we don't talk about in here. So this one did hold its level on episode 177, which is last week. We did talk about the Westport here, and at 360, this one also pay a decent 5% dividend. So we can just, you can see from me top here, with a dividend of 5% and the ROE of 26 times, they're looking pretty decent. Of course, the chart has sort of started to move sideways, and that's what really we want to see the KLCI here. You can see the KLCI started to move sideways, and Westport has done so. The KLCI is somewhere around here, so we want to see this, and once it turns green Pentagon, that's good. And next thing you want to do is the breakout. The market stages, you can look below here. This is from our Trade VSA plugin, so make sure you check it out. And also, for those of you who do know, we have a 10-day free trial for you to check it out. If you have not done so, I think you're missing out some of the best indicator in the business that will help you to put you in the right foot forward and also explore for new opportunities in here. So we're looking for the market to break up. Definitely, we have not seen the the market stage is moving above the zero here, so we're just waiting for this one here. If it does, that will be definitely. There is also a free upthrust, the first one, second one, and third one. So it needs to take out this. That will be 362 to 365. And of course, the Westport trading plans will probably have all those that you need to be ready for this market here. Okay, so this is the Westport. Those are the two good FA Robie shares that we talk about in here. We do note in here. Now to check it out in here, switch over to the Robie FA chart that you can see. Main menu here, the Robie FA collection, that's the one you want to be hitting, and that's how you can find the Robie FA list. Right, looking at the Robie FA list for this week, we got about 5 of them. Definitely we can see Bursa starting to make up already in the intraday alert, 0.15%. Now take note, some of these stocks are generally about above 6 ringgit and 3 ringgit. You're not going to have that 5% or 6% move. They are slow mover, and that's why with the good fundamentals backing it up, it makes it very, very ideal for beginner, right? Beginner where you see less market volatility, and at least if you were to hold on to it, a nice 5% dividend or 6% dividend would put you in a nice basket of things. Hot sector wise is still REITs. You will notice from the VSA 360 also many of the sectors are in red, Pentagon in here. At least REITs are backing you up to be on the turn up. The stocks we'll be looking at will be Bursa. You can see from this list here we got about 5. I've just chosen 2 to talk about. I think P-Trans I've talked about it, but Bursa was a nice one. And you can see Bursa just now intraday alert did pops up too, right? At the item number 1818. You can see this is a nice follow through. It's been down, right, since red Pentagon. If you go to exit, hey, that's a nice one, right? Around maybe 680 and then come back in about 650 onwards. So at least you will avoid that down breaking trend, and now buying in here. So the FA for Bursa, so let's click on here, item number 5, 1818. And we scroll down to stock fundamentals, and you can definitely see Bursa pays 6% dividend. All right, a 6% dividend with the ROE of 40 times, with a PE of 17 times. The sector average is only 11 times, and ROE is 12%, but this thing is doing much better. Of course, Bursa is one of those stocks that is solid, banking on the great volume that is generated by either in the CPO trading or on the stocks trading in here, something that should do pretty well. Target price is 765 with a 20 times PE should the market rebound back, but of course we want to see that market reversal happening first before the market this can turn up in here with a potential of 16.9%. FA looks pretty good. It's owned a lot by EPF and also the Kumpulan Wang Pesara in here. So Bursa definitely something I do think that the beginners should pick it up right now at this good price. Now the next one is P-Trans. We did talk about it earlier on with the dividend. Let's look at P-Trans, P-T-R-A-N-S. Okay, just wait. P-Trans stock chart, stock comment here, and you can see no, we got to go to stock fundamentals, right? So stock fundamentals, you can check out PE of 9 times, pretty good. You can see sector average is 39 and this guy is 9, very cheap, right? And sector average of 12%, this fella is doing 9%, so slightly low lah, okay? And on the dividend, slightly high, 4.5% in here, and that's okay. Fundamentally SPE is overvalued because of the lower ROE in here, but having said that, it does have a rating of 4. Okay, now will this stock turn any higher eventually in here? But it did make a nice move going back to March to right now, 72 cents in here on the backtrack. Not exciting as it's a logistic in here. Owned by Cheong Kong Fit, one of the big shareholder. Philip Capital will the other one. Okay, CBS Link in here. They do handle a lot of the Perak, I believe the transport. There are some news, you can check it out in here. Scroll right at the bottom here, and you can see Perak Tourism Para alternative approved. Para to add more mobile trucks. Para transit poised to resume uptrend, which is June 21st. So June 21st was here. You can see, right? June 21st, that was, haha, you see this? See, this is sometimes what we call smart money. When poised to resume uptrend, that's where the climatic, right? And then the market sell down. All right. So that's a very classic move. Sometimes you have to be careful who say it. Especially the smart money will use the pretense. You know, if you have followed Green Pentagon, right? I think this will be so much better, isn't it? Green Pentagon happened earlier than 1st of March. If you bought it on 21st of June here. This is, sorry, I bet I correct myself. I stand to correct myself. 21st of June, I believe, is this bar here, which is the only 27 here. This bar here, the market breaks out but on lower volume. So you have to be very careful again, just like what we've seen in this 21st May here. Right, now that the market can break up, we want to see volume. Else, trend is still up, no doubt about it in here. This pays a 4%, so on the backdrop with a 4% dividend and a PE of 9 times, I think you can rest. Pretty much this is a good fundamental stocks, right? You can pretty much hold it for a longer term here, but I'll be a bit careful on the volume. All right, you can trade lower, trade smaller first, and when the volume does come in, then you add on some more position for this one. That's how we look at it. So as a summary, let's take a look. Market reversal is really pending. As I said before in here, we did talk about those things here. Look back, the bottoming is almost done, but we need to see a few more things like the market stages turning into positive territory here, moving up above the zero. Green Pentagon, wait for that in here. Double the bottom, of course I'm going to see that bottom in here. And again, due to the bearish sentiment nature right now, many breakout on lower volume like B-Trans, we have to be careful. But if it does break out with a higher volume, that is going to be good in here. So if you are the beginner, we recommend you to focus on the good fundamental stocks and collective stock series in here. So where you have this market moving up on Green Pentagon, but on strong dividend payment in here. So that's the message I have for you guys. And again, for those of you seeking the 10-point CPE, the SIDC has approved our volume spread analysis course. This will run on the next Thursday. That's right, for 488. We still have the I think 2 more days for the early bird price in here. So we welcome those of you who's looking for the 10-point CPE. This is definitely a course that you need to for you to ensure your continual learning in here. And I'll be the so-called course leader that will guide you through this in here. We'll be learning a lot of things. Price and volume, fundamentals, and pretty much what we talk about it daily, and you probably understand the mechanics behind all this. All right, join me on the 30th of June for this course in here, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we come to the end of it. And for those of you who are ready, you can subscribe to our VSA 360, which have received very good review from our members. Right now we are up to our stock review. If you have any stock review that you want me to look at, I'll be happy to look into that. There's a question here, would the market be a technical rebound in here? I don't think so. That's what we want to confirm on the double bottom. If you do see a double bottom, then the market is pretty much firm up right now in here. So that's why we always say about it's always good to get the knowledge, right? Just that you get news, but you must understand the reason behind it in here. All right. So if you have no more stocks to review, we thank you for coming today in here, and I'll see you on my Wednesday night talk. But of course tonight we will also have my fellow coach and speaker Zach with us, and also the other coaches that we have. And I'll continue it. 20-day live trading challenge is still ongoing, and I should be able to bring you some update of the news in here. All right. Alright, that's all I have for today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this video in your timeline. I wish you all the best in your trading, and don't forget to spread the good word around SMARTRobie to your friends and colleagues so more people can join. And don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram chat room in here for all information. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.